You've been there, settling in for an evening of TV only to waste half the night scrolling. Enter Fire TV, entertainment with zero effort required. Fire TV serves up personalized recommendations from across all your apps. Not sure what to watch? Just tell Alexa Plus what you're in the mood for and she'll pull up the perfect recommendation. Problem solved. Stop the scroll, start the show. Find what you're looking for with Fire TV. Subscriptions may be required.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, an update. What's happening with the wild horses out west? With us today is William Simpson, the executive director of the Wild Horse Fire Brigade. Well, William, have the powers that be in the world heard our voices about saving the wild horses?
Yeah, good morning, John. Yeah, I think there's some motion. So Kennedy's team, I'm speaking of Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr., sent over an email to the gentleman over there and Doug Burgum's staff at the Department of Interior, encouraging that he take a look at my resume as far as managing the BLM's Wild Horse and Burro program, which has been a very costly horror show lately, with animals being rounded up by helicopters, and they run them past their endurance, and a lot of them ending up in the slaughter auctions. It's just a terrible thing. Nixon protected these horses in 71 because they're American treasures, and what's happening now is costly. And then we have these fires. These horses could be aided, very, very effective as far as reducing wildfire fuels in the correct areas. So. And 2/3 of all the horses are stuffed into one state on top of it. More mismanagement. Nevada has 2/3 of all American wild horses. So this is all fixable. So it's very encouraging what's happened with Secretary Kennedy trying to move this forward.
Well, Secretary Kennedy is a good friend of mine, and I hope he usually does the right thing. And tell us what else you want to tell the American people. So we're moving in the right direction?
Well, hopefully, and now it's up to Secretary Burgum. He's, of course, the head of the Department of Interior. It's up to Doug Burgum what happens now. If his team will escalate the Kennedy email up to him to look at, and hopefully we'll have a conversation. But, yeah, we can reduce you look at these fires. I mean, just a few weeks ago we had Kansas and Oklahoma burning, several 100,000 acres on fire. All that smoke, by the way, it's killing people. The UCLA study, when you extrapolate that in the western United States, is 36,000 people are dead prematurely every year. And then that costs us $180 billion in economic damage every year. These are things that we can address and we can reduce, we can save lives, and we can save taxpayer dollars. So I'm hoping that through this transaction between Kennedy's staff and Burgum's staff, we can see some changes, and obviously these horses need to be protected. They're American iconic treasures, and there's no need for managing the way we are now, and it's costing us a fortune to keep. We've got 70,000 horses they've rounded up in government holding camps, and it costs $150 million a year, and that's just ridiculous. So there's a better way to do it. We have we have empirical evidence. I manage and study a herd of 200 free-roaming wild horses that we own here in the mountains. We stopped the fire with them. We know it works, and then the science says the same thing. We just proved it empirically. So, and there's a documentary out there, Horse of Nature.
So how many wild horses are there now? How many wild stallions?
Well, there's probably and you can't trust the BLM's, the Bureau of Land Management census, because they use the U.S. Department of Geologic Service. And
well, how many?
They have. There's probably 50,000 left out there on the landscape.
And how many was there? How many should there be?
Well, in the early 1900s, we had 3 million, and when Nixon protected them in 71, it was a crisis. We were down to 25,000, and that was a trigger that triggered the 1971 Free Roaming Wild Horse and Burro Protection Act. So we're not very far above what triggered the protection to begin with. So it's not good.
Yeah. Well, William Simpson, keep us informed. Executive Director of the Wild Horses Fire Brigade. God bless you. And I love animals, and let's save those stallions. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.